morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is English Bulletin with me, Utsa Bhattrai. The top stories first. Martyrs Day being observed across the country today. Government criticised for not fulfilling Martyrs' dreams. Election Commission calls warring side of NCP for talks. Discussions today will focus on party registration. No new COVID-19 casualty reported yesterday. Active cases dropped to 3,203. New UK vaccine shows 89% more efficiency against COVID-19. The new jab works against new variant of virus. And defending champions Liverpool return to form in Premier League to beat Tottenham by 3-1. And now the news in detail. In honour and memory of soldiers and individuals who achieved martyrdom to establish and protect democracy of Nepal during different eras, the National Martyrs Day is being observed throughout the nation with various programs today. Different programs are being organised since the last 6 days to commemorate everyone who sacrificed their lives for protecting Nepal's sovereignty and democracy. A rally from Ratnapark to Sahit Smarak Lainchar is being organised today as a tribute to the martyrs. Although the Martyrs Day has been passionately observed every year, the government has been criticised of not fulfilling the martyrs' dream. Freedom fighters Shukraraj Shastri, Dharmabhakta Mathema Dashrath Chand and Gangalal Shrestha, who were sentenced to death for their fight to establish people's rights, are remembered as the 4 leading martyrs in country's political history. Shastri was hanged in Teku on Magh 10, while Dharmabhakta was hanged in Sifal on Magh 13. Dashrath Chand and Gangalal were gunned down at Shobha Bhagwati on Magh 15 by the autocratic Rana rulers. President Vidya Devi Bhandari, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and top leaders of all parties including NC President Sher Bahadur Deuba have sent well wishes on the occasion of Martyrs Day. The Supreme Court yesterday issued a show cause order in all 5 contempt of court cases registered at the Apex Court. Different advocates had registered contempt of court cases against Prime Minister KP Oli and 4 former Chief Justices, alleging them of making statements that might potentially influence the ongoing trial at the court. Hearing the petitions, a single bench of Justice Manoj Kumar Sharma issued the show cause order and has summoned Prime Minister Oli as well as former justices to be present in the court in person along with written clarifications within the next 7 days. 4 former Chief Justices Min Bahadur Raimaji, Anuprad Sharma, Kalyan Shrestha and Sushila Karki had issued a joint statement earlier this month stating that the dissolution of the Law House was an unconstitutional move. The Apex Court has also summoned former Speaker Damannath Tungana in person with a written explanation within the next 7 days. Advocates Lochan Bhattrai and Tanjeet Basnett had registered separate contempt of court cases against the 4 former Chief Justices. Similarly, 2 separate petitions were also filed against Prime Minister Oli by Senior Advocate Kumar Sharma Acharya and Advocate Kanchan Krishna Neopani. In other news, the Election Commission has sent letters to the 2 warring factions of Nepal Communist Party and invited them for talks. Sending separate letters to the Oli and Dahal Nepal factions, the Election Commission has asked the leaders to send 5 representatives each to discuss about the upcoming election. The Election Commission informed that NCP leaders have been called for discussion at 11 a.m. today morning. The main topic of the discussion will be party registration for the election scheduled for April 30 and May 10 this year. The Election Commission is preparing to issue notice regarding party registration and has therefore called the warring sides of the ruling party for discussions regarding the issue. It has been learned that the Election Commission will also hold talks with the NCP leaders about election law and preparations. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. Coronavirus has claimed no new lives in the country for the first time in months. The death toll from the disease has remained constant at 2,020 by the time this report was published by the government yesterday evening. Meanwhile, the government confirmed 213 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 270,588, while the number of active cases has dropped to 3,203 from the overnight tally of 3,286. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 265,365 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far. Nepal is currently among the top 44 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The US tops the list with 26.33 million confirmed cases, followed by India with 10.72 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 102 million people across the world and claimed over 2.19 million lives. And now the news from economic front. Rakesh Agrawal, the operator of infamous Indira Sugar Mill and the Annapurna Sugar Mill, has been arrested on charges of defaulting millions of rupees to the sugarcane farmers. Police arrested Agrawal from his residence in Tripureshwar yesterday. The accused has been sent to Sarlahi for further investigation, the police informed. Sarlahi District Court and West Nawalparasi District Court had earlier issued arrest warrants against Agrawal on charges of fraud. Indira Sugar Mill, owned by Agrawal, is located in Pratappur, Nawalparasi, while his Annapurna Sugar and General Industries is located in Sarlahi. The Ministry of Home Affairs on 15th of December last year had decided to take action against defaulting sugar mill operators. According to the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Supplies, Annapurna Sugar Mills has paid only Rs 99.1 million out of Rs 170 million it owes to the farmers. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international and sports news. A new coronavirus vaccine has been shown to be 89.3% effective in large-scale UK trials, BBC reported. The Novavax jab, according to BBC's medical editor Fergus Welsh, has become the first jab of its kind to show effectiveness against the new strain of COVID-19 discovered in the UK. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has welcomed the new vaccine as good news, stating that UK's medicines regulator would now assess the vaccine. The UK has secured 60 million doses of the jab, which will be made in Stockton-on-Tees. The doses are expected to be delivered in the second half of this year, if approved for use by the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, the government said. The UK has so far approved 3 coronavirus vaccines for emergency use, one from Oxford University and AstraZeneca, another by Pfizer and BioNTech, and a third from drug firm Moderna. The Novavax jab was shown to be 89.3% effective at preventing COVID-19 in participants in its phase 3 clinical trials in the UK, which enrolled more than 15,000 people aged between 18 to 84. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Liverpool secured a convincing 3-1 victory at Tottenham Hotspur's, defeating the home team by 3-1. After an abysmal run of 5 games without a win, 4 of those without a goal, the defending champions moved back into the top 4 as they discovered their goal-scoring prowess at the expenses of the Spurs. Liverpool's Brazilian forwards Roberto Firmino opened the scoring in the first half extra time, slotting home from the close range. The Reds came out of the outbreak in full form as right-back Trent Alexander-Arnold fired home a shot within 2 minutes of this restart. Spurs head back with a couple of minutes through a sensational strike from Højbjerg, but a Sadio Mane goal in the 65th minute quashed any hope of a Spurs comeback. The win takes Liverpool to within 4 points of Manchester City on 41 points, who have a game in hand. Liverpool's next opponents are West Ham United, who are 5th on the table and 2 points behind the Reds. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Martyrs Day being observed across the country today. Government criticised for not fulfilling Martyrs' dreams. Election Commission calls warring side of NCP for talks. Discussions today will focus on party registration. No new COVID-19 casualty reported yesterday. Active cases dropped to 3,203. New UK vaccine shows 89% more efficiency against COVID-19. The new jab works against new variant of virus. And defending champions Liverpool returned to form in Premier League, defeat Tottenham by 3-1. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.